Hey guys, it's Rush. I hope you're all doing well. Welcome back to the channel. This video today, it is I don't know, channel update. I don't want it to be a channel update because I don't really like doing channel updates these days, but that's what it is. Much appreciated for 11k subscribers on YouTube. Another milestone, not a significant milestone. The 10k was the big deal, but yeah, 11k is still noteworthy. So thank you for that. So I've got hair, I can feel it. So I've just finished streaming. As you can see there, the goal for the stream, it was via a new Street Fighter 6 account. It was to learn a layout on a pad. So learn pad layout, more drive. So the concept was make a new account and I'd be using this controller here. The lighting is not that great. I'll show you a bit more detail in a second. But use this controller, which has a very particular layout. It's very difficult to use on stream. And the plan was to stream from rookie to then say silver rank or gold, and then gold to diamond, then diamond to master. And we ended up doing it in the one stream, and that's because of the streak bonuses and things. So it wasn't really what I anticipated. I did do a dual stream as well, so this was to Twitch and YouTube, but first time doing that. And mixed reviews. I think it was good overall, but the YouTube chat, I think it was one individual was causing problems. But yeah, I won't go into too much depth about that. But yeah, some things happen on the stream, interesting, and the pad itself. So I've been in a bit of a dilemma when it comes to controllers. I ruined the Octa. This is the Octa Pro. So I ruined the Octa Pro by doing too much to the D-pad, screwed it up. So I didn't play much Street Fighter 6 because I didn't really have a pad to play on. I had to redo the D-pad, which I've done on this pad. But in that time, I didn't really play because I didn't have a controller I wanted to use on Street Fighter 6. I've had a lot of time out with Street Fighter 6, like in terms of consistent play. But then also, I just feel like things in real life are, again, evolving, changing. Kids are here a lot more. Work is a lot more, I won't say intense, that's the wrong word. There's a lot more going on at work, but I'm enjoying the process at work. So it's been taking up more of my time. Again, career sort of leveling up again, but it's been good grind at work. But that again has taken more time away from content, from streaming, being consistent. So I do feel like recently there's been various factors: the controller situation, the work situation, the kids being here a lot more. There's been a lot going on in real life that's made me do less contenty stuff and less consistent streams. There's not been a weekly stream for a good while now, and my feelings about that are: I feel like I'm doing the right things in life. I'm making the right choices. But it is making me feel like the Street Fighter grind, the content grind, all that stuff, I do feel like that has fallen by the wayside. And it's made me question, should I even bother continuing doing this sort of stuff? Does anybody actually want to watch me play Street Fighter, to stream Street Fighter, to watch my videos? Because there's been a decrease in, I think, in video sort of views and things, and it's not massively about the views. I'm not really that fussed. I put out content that I think is good and is, some people will enjoy it. That's all that matters. I appreciate the views that I get, but I've definitely seen a decline in my viewership, and I think that across the board has been because of my lack of consistency, my issues with Street Fighter 6, and especially where I tell people I'm not playing 6, I'm not feeling it, I'm a bit burnt out. I do feel like those posts that I put out, and when people see it, turns people off even more. They're just like, yeah, this guy's a waste man. He's not a Street Fighter 6 person. And I agree. I'm not a Street Fighter 6 person, a player. I don't enjoy the product or the game. It is what it is. I'm not going to beat around the bush. I don't like it. But I try to keep the channel going by making meaningful content, even if it's Street Fighter 6, and in a healthy manner. But it's just been a madness recently. It's just been all over the place. So that's kind of what's been going on in the background. I'm trying to move things around and reschedule things to allow time to make content and to do weekly streams again. I want to get back into that. So that is the Hori Octa controller now. That's how it looks. I've got the new Saturn D-pad on. Apologize if you can't see it too well, but the new Saturn D-pad connected. Everything else is pretty much the same, except for this. You'll notice there's a new button here. This does work. This is a functioning button. And to explain the thought process behind this, I've turned the start button into an actual button that's actually glued on in place. It's very secure. and that can be used as a 7th button. Now, that may sound crazy, but the logic is that I can map that as parry during my play in Street Fighter 6 and in City of the Walls as well. I can use that as a button, one of the mechanics. The reason I've done that is because my struggle with this 6-button pad and Street Fighter 6 specifically is I'm trying to find a layout where I can have all my attack buttons, 6 attack buttons, my 3 punches, my 3 kicks, that's 8 buttons already. Drive impact, that's a 9th button. Drive parry, that's 10 buttons. And I'm also using, I'll show you again. So up no longer registers a jump now. I've actually set jump to L2 on the top of the pad. I've got rid of this. So that is 11 buttons I'm trying to map on the controller. And particularly with the Octa Pro, the issue with this pad is if you map parry as the rear paddles, I can't really explain why this happens. Because the response on this paddle is mushy, and when you press it quickly, it does register the parry in the button press of the paddle. It holds the button down longer than it should. You can't set the paddles as parry on this pad. It doesn't work. So if you try to perfect parry a fireball and tap forward, you don't get the forward input. It's really weird. It's bizarre. And I've got 2 of these and it happens on both. It's something to do with those rear buttons, the paddles not being very responsive. I think that lighting is actually much better than the last one. This is with it off. See all my wrinkles on that one, with that on. That's better. So anyway, yeah, so with this pad, I've trialed this during the stream. Hit and miss. I think it was a good experiment, which I'll talk about in its own video. But I don't think that's the way to go. I think the previous controller setup, so where I had L2 still as jump, I actually had R1 as parry, and then I had the rear paddle, this one, I had that set to 3 punches, which is EXDP, Street Fighter 6. I think that worked a little bit better. Not ideal, really. But I can't really think of a layout I can use to have all the buttons I want, because I don't want a button on the left-hand side. I don't want to use these for inputs in terms of anything, mechanics or buttons, but I may have to use like maybe like L1 as parry or something. It's just not working out the way I envisioned it. It does work. The B button set as parry does work, but it's very uncomfortable and it is very awkward. I think the hardest part is with this being parry is the muscle memory. It takes a lot to remember where the button is, and then to go from that to other buttons like the face buttons to do your your drive rush cancels is very, very hard. So it's a work in progress. I'm still trying to figure it out, but it actually works. The fact that I've got a 7 button that works on this pad is crazy. The Victrix Pro BFG reloaded controller, the module where the 6 buttons have been shifted further up, they actually sell the module now by itself. So you can buy that module and that will work with the old controller and the reloaded. That's really good. So I know a lot of people were complaining saying, oh, but I've just bought a Victrix, an old one, and now they've released this new one. That's annoying. You can buy the module. That's really good. So I'm surprised that didn't come out before, but I'm glad Victrix have done that. Something else about the Victrix. Epic Mike left a comment on my latest video, the pad video, the 8-bit 64 controller, mentioning that the Victrix BFG Pro controller, the reloaded one, don't know about the old one. If you buy that pad on PC, it's actually 1000 hertz polling. And I wasn't aware of that. I actually misread Epic Mike's post initially. I thought they were just talking about the PS4, PS5 version, but it's actually the PC version specifically. So I've actually ordered that to test myself. But that, I feel, would make a fantastic fight pad for me because it's got everything I like. You can map the buttons. The controllers are great shape, great design, great buttons, great D-pad. For me, the polling rate was an issue because I could feel it in matches, like very... so the way polling rate, what they do is yes, your response is fast, but it's the consistency. If you keep tapping the button, it's going to be a more consistent timing because the polling rate's higher. It means the controller checks for a button press much more regularly. If you're as low as 125 hertz, which the old Hori is, and I think the old Hori may be less actually, but the Victrix on the PS4, PS5 is 125 hertz. When you're tapping that button in a particular rhythm, sometimes the rhythm will be out because it's not polling as much. and I could feel it in matches. I'd literally switch on that pad to my Hori Octa Pro. I could tell the difference with combo routes. Combo routes, it was completely different. So the PC version is 1000 hertz. So I can't wait to try that. I'm really excited to try that. So that's really, really interesting news. There's some questions about Banana Faction and the controller, the D-pad for the Hori Octa Pro using micro switches. Banana Faction at the moment isn't making controllers or doing anything of that nature, not selling any products. So if that is going to be a thing, it's not going to be anytime soon. So I'm not actively looking to get my hands on a D-pad for the Octa Pro that uses micro switches. It's not on the cards at the moment. May never happen, I don't know. But it's interesting to see if that does happen. But if I'm honest, when I tried it on the old Octa controller, the Hori, when I tried the micro switches, I didn't like it. The thing with the mod was it moved a lot. It was very loose. I didn't really like it. I actually got rid of the mod. Somebody asked me, they said, I want to purchase it, but I can't purchase the micro switch D-pad mod for the old Octa. So I said, yeah, I've got one if you want it, because I didn't like it. So I passed it on to somebody because I couldn't buy it on the store because Banana Faction is not active at the moment. So hope Banana Faction's doing well. But yeah, like if you're looking for him, he hasn't got his store open. He's not making anything at the moment, but hopefully things change and he comes back on the scene because he put a lot of hard work into those controllers. And the last update. So I was talking to a company called Layer Shift, and Layer Shift watched my video. They watched the video of the Hori Octa Pro and all the crazy mods I've done. And they were looking to make a package that has the Saturn D-pad and maybe some other modifications for the controller to improve it. Because I do think my Octa Pro, the way it is, even with that extra button, this pad is such a unique experience. It's really, really interesting. So they were looking at the mods. The mods at the time were the sticky pads for the PCB, the Saturn D-pad. It would have had the cut-off shoulder button as well, the L2 button. Well, both actually. I've sanded them both down. And the fact that I extended the sides out of the Octa Pro. So they'd watched that video. We spoke briefly on Twitter, and they were looking at building the parts for people to purchase, which would be awesome. If you can purchase the mods and then attach them to your Octa Pro without taking the Octa Pro apart too much and messing with it. Because I do a lot of fiddling to get it to work. Because it's all ghetto. It's ghetto mods, basically, I'm doing. That work. They are legit. So if he had a package you could buy for these mods and just stick them onto your pad and they work out of the box, that'd be amazing. I've reached back out to Layer Shift. I haven't heard back from them just yet, but I don't know the status of what's going on with that mod. If he's still working on it, it's a project that's not going to progress any further. Don't know, but sharing it for information, because you can check out Layer Shift on Twitter, and if they do respond with some good news, that there is something coming out, and that's awesome. Look forward to bringing more news on that in the future. So that's really it for the video. A bit of a ramble. This wasn't rehearsed or anything. It was just stuff on my mind I wanted to share with you guys in this sort of channel update, controller update type thing. There is this feeling, I'll be honest, I said it in the stream, this feeling that at the moment I should continue, obviously focus on my kids. That always comes first. Focus on myself. Work is demanding but good. That is the priority. That pays my bills. But there is this feeling of I just feel like I'm drifting away from fighting game content. I'm drifting away from Street Fighter. I'm drifting away from the scene entirely. I just don't really feel what I'm doing is relevant anymore. I don't feel like it's good. I think there's better content creators, more relevant content creators, more consistent content creators compared to me. But it's left me in this weird space where I'm it's not giving up. It's like, I feel like it's not my time now to make content and be out there making videos. So I don't know. I'm curious. I'm not begging down comments and oh, it's fine, Rush, you're amazing. I'm not begging for that. I'm just curious to know your thoughts. Do you think the content's not as great anymore? Do you feel like I'm not putting the passion into the videos as much as I would? Do you feel like the consistency is just not there now? It's it's difficult to follow the channel. I'm just curious because it's always good to get your feedback, because then I can take that into consideration with whatever I do. If the feedback is a case of, yeah, Rush, you're washed up, then that just further reinforces my feelings of yeah, it's time to pack it in, or just bang out videos here and there, but just put so much less into the channel than I am at the moment, which isn't much as it is. So curious to know your thoughts. Let me know what you feel. But I appreciate your time as always. Appreciate obviously the numbers on the channel, 11K subscribers. Appreciate you tuning into the streams. And yeah, appreciate you listening to my channel update rants. That's what they are. They're just rambles and rants, really. Nothing rehearsed. It is what it is. But yeah, thanks, guys. I'll catch you in the next video. Take care.